actually name this lesson. And I finally came up with a title. Let's see. All right. Over here. Ready. All right, I'll be able to leave all that up. All right. Oh, not too many people. Share. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, wonderful. All right, thank you. So, this in particular this week Torah portion was based upon this idea of this word called shamini. Shamini. The actual name in the text was called Ha Shamini. Okay, Ha Shamini, meaning the eighth. Okay, the eighth, right here. We found out that there's several meanings that are associated with this word about the eighth. We found out that there's the word shame in there, which has to do with the name. We found out that you also had the other letters here that has to do with oil. So we got oil, we got the name. Name means character. We also found the eighth. We talked about oil that had to do with fatness. The fatness of the olive. We found out that the eighth has to do with the day, that has to do with after the completion of something. We found out that it was Koti Pam brought out that it was a new beginning. Okay, so it's a new beginning. It's starting something off differently. We found out that it had to do with circumcision. Right, so that's associated with that, with not only for humans, okay, humans, we were circumcised, but also to the Most High ask for the animals, okay, to be given to him on the eighth day. Okay, so they're supposed to be brought to him on the eighth day as well. Okay, so there's a lot of associations and with this in particular word. And then I thought, I'm always asking the Most High to give me more information. And the obvious thing that I didn't really look at when I was doing this Torah portion this week was this idea of strength came to me this morning in my mind. I asked, well, how is this? How can I find strength in this? Well, the Most High is letting us know that a person who's brought to the Most High on the eighth day, a child, they could not endure a circumcision prior to the seventh day. They wouldn't possibly be strong enough. See, so that has to do with this time factor. We also understand that the Most High told them to leave the animals with their mothers, okay, like the lambs and the goats and the calves and so forth. You're going to leave those with their mothers through the seventh day. So this idea of strength, which is obvious, is found in this in particular Torah portion. Okay. It has to do with strength. Okay. So the goal today is to show you how that's connected. Okay. Like it's something is literally ready. Okay. Something is literally ready. The beginning of something, it's ready. Okay. So through this 7-day process, when we talk about how the Most High had created everything in 6 days and he rested on the seventh day, even the seventh day itself was created, but that day was to refresh, to revive, and to restore. Okay. And so the Most High has gone through this process of creating things. And then on the following day, after the seventh, was that new beginning. Everything was literally ready because it had achieved the strength that it needs in order to move forward. Okay. So this is what the Most High is giving us this week. He's letting us know that when I talk about Hashemini, I'm talking about the eighth. I'm talking about something or someone coming to a point of being strong enough to move forward. Okay. So within that, our Torah portion this week, we found in the book of YAH that the Most High, was asking the children of Israel to prepare to, for his glory, for his coming, for his revelation of his glory. And that was for the purpose of literally strengthening them for their new beginning, right? So the Most High is setting up the priesthood. He's putting people in place. He has Aaron and his sons going through the process of, understanding the offerings and understanding how to move and how to navigate through the set apart things. And so as a result of those things, we found that two individuals, I would dare to say three individuals made a mistake. They have on record Nadab and Abihu, which is Aaron's sons, which he lost if you read your Torah portion. This is going to make sense to you. Okay. So he lost his sons, but I would say that he himself was greatly affected and he made an error that we're going to talk about today. But the idea behind this Torah portion, it had a lot to do with food. It had to do with food. It had to do with eating. So let's take a look at it. It says, YAH chapter number 10, verse 18 through 19. It says, look, and this is Moshe communicating to Aharon after the sons of Aharon they died and they were devoured before the Most High. They were burned. We talked about their death earlier this week. It says, its blood wasn't brought into the sanctuary, talking about the offering. You should have eaten it there in the sanctuary as I ordered. And Aharon answered Moshe, even though they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering today, things like these, okay, have happened to me. If I had eaten the sin offering today, would it have pleased Yahweh? So I want to deal with a couple of things about eating, okay? Okay, this word, which in Hebrew is called call, the A and then the call, okay, a call. That's how you would put it in English, okay, a call. So a call basically means in a simple way to eat something, okay? And you can do this in several different ways. You can eat it, you can devour it, you can feed somebody. It's all different types of ways. You can feed yourself. There's all different types of ways that this actual action can happen. So when we look at this word, a call, Aharon had asked the question. He asked the question, would this be pleasing to Yah if I had eaten? Well, Yah has been pleased with me if I was to eat this offering after what happened to me today and what happened to my sons. As you know, when his sons died, he went completely silent. He didn't make any response. So it's kind of like he experienced the death within himself. He was literally mourning. So I want to focus our attention to this word right quick about pleased. Okay. Because when we talk about what we eat and how we eat, The idea behind it is we want to make sure that when we do it in a way that's pleasing to the Most High. I find it to be interesting that even in our Torah portion in chapter number 10, when he makes this statement after the death, and it had something to do with eating, the following chapter, okay, chapter number 11, deals with food, and it deals with these things. So when you put those two ideas together, because I asked myself, well, why was this introduced and why is this important? Why was he concerned about pleasing Yahweh by the things that he was eating? And so what we find is there is literally an emotional connection between food and Yah. Okay, there's a connection, and that's how we make our connection to the Most High. Okay, get your notebooks because this is going to be very, very good for us today. So he wanted to make sure and ask the Most High was something good. You know, would this be pleasing to the Most High? Put your device on mute. Thank you. Would this be pleasing to the Most High? Would this be tov? Would this be something that's good? Something that's good, everyone, is something that functions properly. And so in this state that he was in, he was being honest with himself. Therefore, he was being honest before the Most High, saying, listen, me eating today and that which was required of the Most High, because it was required to eat it. It was part of the command. But he's letting us know that if anything that you and I do, the one thing that we want to make sure that it is that it's tov, that it's functional, okay, that it's functioning properly. Not only is the food good, but is what I'm eating good, is how I feel good, right? We just got out of our festival of Chag Matzot, and I'm hopeful that all of us had an opportunity to really celebrate, and that which is and that's functional, to have fun and to enjoy what the Most High has brought to our attention, okay? And especially because he delivered us from Mitzrayim at that time, and that's something that we commemorate every year. So this idea of tov, okay, is about something that's functioning correctly. Nothing is good, okay, if it's not functioning properly. Okay, so it's not just the food, but it's actually the person. It also can be, you know, the animal. It could be, you know, your household. It can be anything. So when we talk about that which is good, we're talking about something that's functioning properly and correctly. So I'm going to break this word down, okay? The first letter in our word tov is this letter right here called a tet. Tet from Hebraic understanding means a basket. It's that can contain something, right? So you can see even in the letter itself, you know, it looks like it's wrapping around something, it's surrounding something. That's why the reason why it's designed this way. So this is where they get this idea about it's surrounding something, because they're thinking about a basket. From an agricultural standpoint, baskets were a big part of the culture. So when you would gather anything or you would put food in it, you would have to use a basket. You know, and of course they made their baskets, you know, different colors, different types of baskets. But the purpose of the basket is to contain something, but it can also surround something. It's surrounding something that's inside. Okay, so that's the first letter that we're talking about that has to do with this word tov, and of course in English is Tov. There is no letter V in the Hebrew language, but just for pronunciation, it really would be tob. Okay, but since it's on the end of the actual word, it is pronounced with a soft B sound. Okay, it's still a bet, but it's pronounced as v. Okay, so tov. Put your device on mute. Thank you so much. So tov is the first letter, has to do with a basket. It has to do with to contain what's in that basket and something to surround, right? So that's the idea behind it. The next letter, of course, is our letter bet. Okay. Bet. Okay. And so in this, we find the idea of a tent, a house, or a dwelling. And so as you can see in the presentation of the letter, right, it looks like something's inside of it. So this holds something, okay, like That little dot right there can represent, they usually say the baby inside of the womb, or it could be a person inside of the tent. The actual ancient Hebrew letter is like this. And so this right here represents the tent, and right here is the opening of the door right here. And then a person would come in, the father would usually place himself right here. He would stay in this part of the tent, and then his wife and his children would be here. The father would generally be at the front of the door of the tent in order to protect the family and the dwelling from people who were trying to come into the tent. So this is where the family would be, they would stay. And of course, there would be some divisions inside of that tent. Okay, so just give a little information about that and how this letter is connected to family. Okay, so those are the two letters. Okay, and so when you got those two letters together and you bring them together, okay, let me see, when you bring those two letters together, you have this idea of that which is good. Okay, when you have something that surrounds, you have the surrounding of the family, which is the tent. That which is around us, our surroundings are supposed to be good. They're supposed to be functional, okay? They're supposed to be grace. They're supposed to be mercy. There's supposed to be this idea of the house being surrounded with beauty, okay? Decoration, something that's good, something that's functional. You can't really say that your home is functioning correctly if people in the home are not functioning correctly. You really wouldn't say that your living situation is good if the kitchen wasn't functioning, or if the bathroom wasn't functioning, or if the water wasn't functioning, or your grass was dead on your front lawn. Okay, if you got a hole in your roof and it's not fixed, okay, it's not functioning properly. I think what happened to us as a people is that we've lost sight how important our surroundings are to our well-being and who we are. Okay, so idea about Aharon saying, hey, would the Most High be pleased if I was to eat this offering day, considering everything that has happened? So everything that's happened in YAH's house, he's literally talking about, I'm mourning today the death of my sons. So what my behavior and how I feel is not good. It wouldn't be good for me to eat this offering, right? So going back to what he had said, he asked the question, would Yahweh have been pleased? Would he have been pleased with me eating today? In his house, would he be accepted? Would this be acceptable to the Most High? And the answer to that is no, because he wasn't functioning properly. Okay. And that was the idea behind it. To eat is to find out, what are we doing as a people? Are we doing that which is good? Are we doing that which is functional? Are we eating that which is good for us? Right. This last week, I learned that the matzo bread was very, very healthy for me. Very, very healthy. It had protein in it. It didn't have any sodium. It didn't have any cholesterol. Didn't have any fat in it. Didn't have anything, right? And, me, I like, burritos, sandwiches, and I love sourdough bread and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, yeah, so what are you trying to teach me? He's like, you don't have to wait to kag matzov, okay, to eat healthy. I'm just trying to encourage you to show you the difference between that which is set apart and that which is common. That's what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you that you're a distinctive people. You're different, okay? So if you're different, I'm going to ask you to eat differently. I'm asking you to think differently, okay? In our Hebrew word, a call, you will find that it is what I would say a child root right here. Those of you who've been in my Hebrew class, which I encourage everyone to come and try to learn the language. Take some time to learn this language, because you can't find really anything of any value inside of the English language. It's not being honest with us. You have to really know what the Most High is saying. In our teachings, we find that letters, okay, the Hebrew alphabet is what you will call a family. It's a family. It's a family of letters. Okay. So in every family, you're going to have what they will call a parent and you're going to have a child. This right here is what they would call a child root, which we're going to go over in a second. You said, well, why is this important? Because if you don't understand the root of something, you're not going to understand how it functions. And then it won't be good for us because we won't know how it works. Okay. So in the Hebrew language, as I've discussed before, there are 4 child root letters. Okay. There's 4 of them. And here they are. They're an aleph, they're a hey, and they're a YAH, and they're a yod. So when you look at the word a call, you see that, wait a minute, I see this letter. I see this letter in this word, right? So I know they're with parents, this is the first and this is the second. So this must be the third, okay? So in the Hebrew language, everything starts off with not 1, but it starts off with 2. It starts off with 2, okay? Just like when you start off in a marriage, you're starting off with a male and a female. You start off with 2. The Most High said, I'll bring these 2 together, right? Right? 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay. But the Most High says, I'm going to take that 2 and then I'm going to create a 1 out of it. I'm going to bring unity. I'm going to bring a Akkad through this oneness. Okay. The oneness that he's creating is oneness between the 2 people. They're making their connection, but also too, that 2 is going to create a 1. And that 1 right there is a child. That's what they're creating. The purpose of bringing 2 together is to create 1. The Most High said, I made the male and the female. I made the Zakar and the Keva. Okay. I made them in my image, right? So somebody said, is the Most High both male and female? And I would dare to say that the Most High is neither male or female. I would say the idea of the Most High is found in the marriage covenant. It is found in the creation of both male and female. It's found in YAH taking something and dividing it and splitting it in 2 in order to bring it back together, in order for it to become 1 and to be unified. Okay. So here it is. So there's these 4 letters that when you see them attached to any word, you're like, okay, that must be a child. That has to be a child root. Okay. So when you have these child roots can be in any position. Okay. They have to be in the front of a word, the middle of the 2 parents, or they could be at the end of the 2 parents. And I'm going to give you an example. Okay. It could be in the front, the middle, or the end. And this is what it looks like. For practical purposes, let me go back and explain something. So we got 3 right here. There's only 3 positions that root can be in. What root? The child root, the aleph, the hey, the YAH, and the yod. These 4 letters can only be in these 3 positions. And when you multiply 4 times 3, what do you get? Easy. 12. Okay. Which I like to think about it as this. Just so I remember. Okay. How many wives did Yaakov have?
4.
He had 4. Thank you. He had 4. Okay. That's how many wives he had. He had 4 wives. Check this out. He had 4 wives. Okay. These 4 letters that you have here, they actually work too as vowels. So they're not only consonants, but they're vowels. Okay. So when I think about this, I think about, okay, Jacob, he had 4 wives, meaning he actually took 4 vowels. You hear me? He had 4 vowels. And based on that, when I remember this, I go, okay, he had 4 wives, 4 vowels. So I know that these letters right here could, be a vowel. But also too, when I multiply the positions that these actual children or vowels can be in, it brings us to 12, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. That's just something that I was able to find in my studies. Okay. So 12, and that's how I remember it. 12 tribes. I know there's 4 vowels, and I know that there's 3 different opportunities or 3 different positions that they can come to. So I can end up having 12 different children. Okay. And let me explain it to you. So when I say it's in the front, the middle, and the end, these are the positions. The front, end, and the middle, the front, middle, and end. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you have a word like a call, meaning to eat, okay, that vowel, that child root can be in the front position. It could be in front of the parent. It could be in the middle of the parent, or it can be at the end of the parent. Here's the parent. Here's the parents right here. Okay. So the parent to this is call. That's the parent. Okay. That's the parent. The child is the aleph. So in our case today, we're talking about this word called a call. These words here, right here, have something that's related. They might not be to eat or to devour, but they can also mean something that's directly connected to the root, meaning the root would be the parents. The child is the letter. And when you take on a child, the child takes on some of the characteristics of the parent. Okay. Why is this important? Because what we're talking about today is we're talking about the family. We're talking about strengthening the family. Okay. And one of the things that strengthens our family as a people is the language of the Most High. It's his language. So if we understand this, the alphabet is taught. Okay. If you think about it, just to kind of bring us back, if you think about it, it's called the alphabet. The aleph is the first, right? And this bet is the second. So you got the aleph, and then you have the bet. It's called the alphabet, right? The name of our language, right? So if you got the alphabet with these 2 letters right here, and it's called in English Av, what's your Av? What's the name? What does Av mean?
Father.
Father. So the alphabet, aleph, bet, is literally your father. This is your father talking to you. This is our father instructing us. Oh, you need to hear. When we talk about the Torah, we're talking about the alphabet. It was spoken to us in an alphabet. It was spoken to us in a language that's associated with culture, and it's associated with those meanings that are concrete in their definition. Okay. And they're alive and they're well. They can be used as nouns, they can be used as verbs. So when we talk about eating, okay, and he's saying, will the Most High be pleased with me? Okay. What he's really saying, would he be pleased? Would he be told? We would never know what good is, because good is an abstract term. Some people consider, being a certain way good. Some people consider, homosexuality good. Some people consider adultery okay and it's good. Some people consider catfish good. Some people love shrimp. It's good. But according to what the Most High said to us, it's not. Okay, so you're getting a little Hebrew lesson, but also too, you're getting a cultural understanding as well. Okay. This system, this language that you and I are in is a system of roots, okay, that go into the ground and they grow up into what they will call a stem. Okay. A lot of you already know this that are in my class. When I say that it's a root system, what I'm saying is, let's just use this as your seeds. Okay. So you plant your seeds in the ground. All of a sudden, they burst open. And then they become like this. Okay. This red that you see right here are the roots. The roots then take into the ground, underneath the ground. Okay. So, but the seed is planted. All right. So once the seed pops open and the roots come, a little sprout comes out of the ground. Okay. And then it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows to where it's supposed to go. Okay. Depending on what the seed is, determines the strength of that in particular stem or that root. Okay. So roots literally support the stem. If the root system is strong, then this stem right here is going to be firm. If this is weak underneath here, if your root system is weak, this stem is going to fall to the left or to the right. It won't be able to endure. It won't be supported by something that's firm. Okay. So that's something that I need you to understand about our language and about what we're talking about today. So eating, to eat is a stem. Okay. It's a stem. So when I look at a call is this stem right here. That's a call. Okay. That's a call. That's eating. The parents is not a call. The parents are called call. They're underneath the ground. See? So the parents are underneath the ground. They're the ones who could divide it. Okay. And then they came out and they brought out a call. They brought the stem out. The stem starts growing. It starts getting stronger. Once it starts going stronger, it'll then have other branches. And then eventually those branches will come off. And this is a family. Okay. Then eventually the tree will bear forth its branches. And then once it bears the branches, then you would start developing what you would call fruit. Okay. Or leaves, and then the leaves, and then the fruit. So there's a process. Okay. And this is how you would learn the language. You learn it through this system. Okay. So if we want to understand how our Father is talking to us, he's talking to us in agricultural terms. So today we chose this word a call because it's the verb stem that's used a lot when we're talking about our Torah portion. What we're talking about is how to strengthen ourselves. And one of the ways that we're strengthened is through food. Okay. But also are we not strengthened through food, but we're strengthened through what they would call the Kohen, which are the foundation, okay, of the community of Israel. Yahweh said in our Torah portion to Aharon, he said, don't drink any wine or other intoxicating liquor, neither you nor your sons with you when you enter the tent of meeting, so that you will not die. This is to be a permanent regulation through all your generations, so that you will distinguish between the kadosh and the common, that which has been set apart versus that which is common. This word distinguish here means to divide. That's all it means. It's called havdel. Havdel is the word that the first time it was ever mentioned was in the book of Genesis, when Yah had divided the light from what? Darkness. Thereby dividing the day from the what? Night. Yah has made separation between the waters in the Shamayim and the waters on the earth. Yah has made a separation and divided the waters from the land. Yah has made a distinction between certain animals. Yah has made a distinction between the wild animals and those that are domesticated. Yah has made a distinguishment between humanity and wildlife and animals. Yah has made a whole bunch of distinctions. Okay. He's made a whole bunch of divisions. Okay. He's actually divided the soul between a male and a female. He's divided them. They didn't start off, listen, folks, they didn't start off, there's no additional spirit. Okay. He's made a division in order to bring things, when they come together the right way, it becomes a cod and it becomes acceptable to the Most High. There's times of transitions, but there's a division. Okay. So what he's saying is, I need the Kohanim to make a distinguishment between Kadosh and common, between unclean and clean, so that you will teach the people of Israel all the laws Yahweh has told them through Moshe. This is Yah speaking to Aharon after the death of his sons, because his sons were drinking, they were intoxicated, and therefore they made a mistake. They had weakened themselves. They were in a mode of celebration. And in their celebration, they were not able to make a distinguishment and to make a division between Kadosh and common. Too much alcohol is not good for us. It dulls your senses. It makes you off. So the Most High is saying, don't do this, because if you come in here, you're not going to be able to properly, you're not going to be tov. You're not going to function correctly in my house. Just like an alcoholic that's a man, he comes to his house, he's not functional. An alcoholic wife who drinks a lot of wine, it's not good for her, it's not good for the family. Okay, but there's times in which we should celebrate. Okay, I'm not saying wine's bad, and I'm not saying strong liquor is bad, because, it's not. The Most High says, when you're dealing with me, I need you to understand the difference between kadosh and common, between unclean and clean, so you can teach. Okay, so if you don't understand the distinguishment, you won't be able to teach the difference. So the Kohen is the foundation. We find in their name, just the name, the title of the Kohen, these two letters right here, which is a cough, which is the palm of the hand. Okay, like if you did cough, you put your palm of your hand over your mouth and go cough. It's a good thing to remember. It's called a cough. That's the name of the letter. Okay, this last letter right here is a nun, which has to do with the seed. So what they would do is they put the seed in the palm of the hand. The palm of the hand is open. Once the seed is in the hand, they would open it and look. They would look at the seed and distinguish and make a determination to see what type of seed it is. They then would take that seed and plant it in the ground, like I just showed you an example of. And they would plant that seed. And then once the seed is in the ground, it then would burst open and take a root system. Once the root system comes into place and it strengthens, it becomes firm in the ground and spreads its roots all through underneath. It's your foundation. Okay. Then once it grows up, the stem is firm. And so the Kohanim are the ones who are supposed to be firm. The men in the home, the Most High says that you're the priest of your house. You're supposed to be firm. What we find with Aharon is Aharon was not firm. As a result of his sons dying, because he wasn't firm enough. How did they go and get additional fire? They went through a 7-day training process, and after they were taught the right thing, they still went ahead and did something contrary to what Yah had said. This is not the only example that we see this in our text. We see this over in the book of Samuel, where's another priest. His name is Eli. They call him Eli. He had 2 sons that he did not correct. And they did what they wanted to do, and the Most High killed them too, 2 of them. Why? Because the father was weak. Weak on discipline, weak on correction. When you're weak in correction and when you're weak in discipline, your household is not going to be tov. It's not going to be functional. That's what it is. And as a result of this weakness, of mental weakness, mental fortitude, mental weakness, wasn't strong. He knew that he was the cause of his sons dying. He didn't have, even in their generosity and their excitement and the celebration of everything that was going on after this new beginning was a day of sorrow for Aharon, because he failed to strengthen his sons. He failed to strengthen his family. He failed to make a distinguishment with them. See? This is why the Most High is addressing Aharon and telling him, neither you nor your sons with you. So obviously somebody wasn't putting nothing in place. We find in Ezekiel chapter 4, Yah continues to tell Ezekiel, which was a priest, by the way, he was a Kohen, told him, no Kohen is to drink wine when he comes and enters the courtyard. Not only when you come to my temple, why? Because it's going to dull your senses. They may not marry a widow or a divorcee, but they must marry virgins descended from the house of Israel. They didn't get to go pick whoever they wanted. it was going to be what Yah had prescribed for them. Okay. A widow or whose deceased husband was a Kohen. If they did marry a widow, her husband had to be a Kohen. Sometimes we don't want to follow what Yah says because it's not convenient for us. Sometimes being called and being set apart for Yah means that we have to do things that you and I necessarily don't want to do. That's what we're finding here. We're finding that the priesthood is to teach the children of Israel how to make a distinguishment between that which is kadosh, set apart, and that which is common. You and I are not common people, okay? So we don't get to do what we want to do. He says here they are to teach my people the difference between kadosh and common and enable them to distinguish between clean and unclean. They are to be judges in controversies. They are to be rendered decisions in keeping with my rulings, my mishpatim, at all my designated festivals. They are to keep my laws, my regulations. They are to keep my Shabbats kadosh. They are not to come to any dead person because this would make them unclean. However, for father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sister who has no husband, they may make themselves unclean. Stipulations by the Most High. In our Torah portion, we find that the Most High tells us in chapter 11, Yahweh said to Moshe and Aharon. He's not addressing this just to Moshe. He's telling Aharon because Aharon is the person he's supposed to go ahead and teach the children of Israel. That's his job, which is a picture of what the nation of Israel is going to do for the nations. Go speak and tell the people of Israel, these are the living creatures which you may eat among all the land animals. That's that call, okay? And any that has a separate hoof, which is completely divided, and choose the cud, these animals you may eat, but you are not to eat those that only chew the cud or have, but you are not to eat those that only chew the cud or only have a separate hoof. Because some animals may chew the cud, but they don't have a separate hoof. They might have a separate hoof, but they might not chew the cud. They have to have both of them, okay? He also says here, of all the things that live in the water, you may eat these. Anything in the water that has fins and scales, okay? Why fins and scales? Fins, because you can move fast, you can navigate. Scales for protection. They're protected. You understand? So whether in the seas or in the rivers, you may eat these, you may eat. You can call these. You can eat these. But everything in the seas or rivers without both fins and scales of all the small water creatures and all the living creatures in the water is a detestable thing for you. Not for the nations, for you. I don't know if you know this, but the Muslims, they eat everything out of the water. They said all because it's in the water, water makes it clean. That's not what our Torah teaches. Our Torah teaches that only things with skin, fins and scales are the only things that you and I can eat that comes out of the sea. Those are only two things. Those are the two requirements, because everything else is detestable for us. Okay. So when someone's saying, hey, anything that comes out of water, water purifies, not according to what the Most High said. Okay. So we're seeing a distinguishment there. Okay. We're seeing some qualifications. You water the mountains. Listen what it was spoken in the Psalms. The Psalm said, you water the mountains from your palace. The earth is satisfied with how you provide. You grow grass for the cattle, and for the people, you grow plants that they need to bring forth bread from the earth, wine that gladdens the human heart, and oil to make the faces glow, and food to sustain their strength. Yah's purpose of giving food to everything on the face of the earth is to strengthen it. It's not only to satisfy, it's to bring strength. Not only strength for humankind, but strength for the animals. So food is a big part of this. And so our obedience to the Most High will strengthen us. This is what it is. And so we have a special diet. Shabbat Shalom. We have a special diet that has been prescribed by Yah in order not only to strengthen the body, but to strengthen the soul. For I am Yahweh. This is what he tells us in our Torah portion. I am Yahweh who brought you out of the land of Mizraim. up out, meaning Ola, I lifted you up. You ascended out of the land of Misraim. So to be your Elohim. Therefore, you are to be Quadashim. You're supposed to be Quadashim. Quadashim means you're the set apart ones. Why? Because I am Kodosh. See, so that im on the end right there tells you this plural. He's talking to them as a group saying, look, you guys need to be Quadashim. Kodosh is in there. I'm Kodosh. So what we're doing is I'm unifying you with me. I'm unifying you with me through your diet. If you eat pig, I don't have a slide in here, but if you eat pig or mice or anything of those things are detestable things, God said he's going to kill those people. You're not unified with the Most High. And more specifically, he's talking to Israel. That's who he's talking to. He's talking to Yisrael. See? So of his people, the rebels, the people that are against the Most High, okay? So we see here that the Most High is saying, I'm Kadosh. You're Kodashim. You are supposed to be united with me. Such then is the Torah concerning the animals, the flying creatures, all the creatures that move about in the water, and all the creatures that swarm on the ground. Its purpose, because I'm your Elohim, its purpose is to distinguish, to havdil between unclean and clean, between creatures that may be eaten and those that may not be eaten. Why? Because this has to do with your soul. Okay, so this food is not just for your body. It has to do with your soul. The part of you that is going to go through this process of Kodashim is your soul. Not only your body, but your soul. You see? Yah brought the souls out of Misraim that had bodies. You see? So the nefesh about us is everything. And what does it mean to be the nefesh? The living part of us, right? So the nefesh has to do with your appetites. It has to do with your emotions. It has to do with your well-being. It has to do with how are you mentally strong? It has to do with your mind. It has to do with so much of us, your very being. So food has a lot to do with who you are. You see? So this is the reason why the Most High is asking for a distinguishment. And this is the reason why the Torah is given, to strengthen that. I want to share with you that was something that was found in our Torah portion or in our Haftarah this week. There was a situation that arose where David summoned all and picked all the troops of Israel. He took 30,000 men with him. Then David, taking along the entire force he had with him, then he set out for Ba'aleh, Yehuda, to bring up from there the ark of Elohim, which bears the name of Yahweh Zavaoth, enthroned above the Kovarim. David was inspired to do something for the Most High. This relates to the inspiration that Nadav and Avihu had. Okay. When David came to go get the Ark of the Covenant, he went up there with a lot of people. I don't think I have a slide in here, but he went up there with, I might have it. Yeah. He went up there and he was ready to celebrate. Okay. But he was inspired to do something for the Most High. You and I are supposed to learn from David. Has used David as a teaching instrument. He is there to teach us about his life and to tell us where his failings happened. Okay. And so David, he was inspired to do something for the Most High, going and picking up the Ark of the Covenant, bring it to the place that he wants to bring it to the land, and so forth and so on. This was great. David was inspired to do something. David had great intentions. He had great intentions when he set out, when he was inspired to do something for the Most High. He had all the best intentions in the world. And I'm pretty sure Nadav and Avihu did too. Okay. So they set out the ark. They set the ark of Elohim on a new cart and brought it out of the house of Avinadav, which you can see there's a connection. Here's the connection. Avihu is one of the names of Aharon's sons who died. Nadav was his other son. So these two individuals are combined, meaning my father is generous. That's what this name means. My father is generous. My father is noble. That's why the Ark of the Covenant was in that spot. And he says on the hill. They were on a hill, so they were descending down from the hill with Uzzah, which is a uncle in our Torah portion to Avihu and Nadav. So you can see him there too. And then Akio means that he is my brother, the sons of Avinadav. And so they brought driving this new cart. I put this here in terms of highlighted it to let you know that when someone's trying to do something for the Most High, their intent might be good. It might have a fresh and new way of doing it. It might say, well, you know what? When we put this Ark of the Covenant on this new cart, this is good. You know, this seems to be the right thing to do because it's new, it's fresh, it's freshly painted, probably is probably strengthened in the same way, and it looked great. Okay. And it had probably the stability that it needed because it was new. It wasn't an old cart. So they're thinking that this thing right here can actually do the job. So they led it from the house of Abinadab on the hill with the Ark of Elohim. Akio walked in front of the Ark, right? So this guy walks in front of the Ark in order to make sure that, you know what, hey, we're going to lead this thing right into the city. So sometimes we may do things, we might think something that is new might be adequate enough for the Most High, okay? Because we have the best intentions in the world. And look what happens. So David, when he did this and he had this new cart, you know, he's inspired, and he went in the whole house of Israel. They celebrated in the presence of Yahweh. He had a great celebration. He had a party. And he had all kinds of musical instruments made of cypress wood, including lyres and lutes and tambourines and rattles and cymbals. And they arrived in the Khan's threshing floor, and the oxen stumbled, and Uzzah put out his hand to steady the Ark of Elohim. I bring this point out about celebration because this is what Nadav and Abihu did. They decided to celebrate with drinking. That's what they did. They said, you know what? We just accomplished the 7th day of service to the Most High of going through the process. We're now installed into our positions, and this is a glorious time. So guess what? Let's start sipping. Let's get a sip of that which is strong. Let's get, you know, let's get turned up. So they got turned up and they were celebrating, just like David. David is here in the whole house of Israel. They're celebrating. It doesn't mention that they had alcohol and all these types of things, but the people that were there, we see that, you know, it was Uzzah. We see that it was Abinadab, Akio. We see that he had 30,000 other people with him. We see that, you know, it was pretty, Israel was there. We see that there was instruments going on. We see that, you know, there was lutes, there was sounds, all kind of stuff. It was a great party. Everybody's having a party because that's their intention. And they're doing this in the presence of the Most High. So it doesn't seem like nothing's wrong. Until we get to the point of something happening where the ark or the oxen had stumbled. And this in particular person, Uzzah, put forth out his hand to steady the ark of Yahweh. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about him in a second. There was an error that was made on several people's part. When this in particular, Uzzah put forth his hand to steady the ark, everyone, the Most High's anger blazed up against Uzzah, and Yahweh struck him down on the spot for his offense, so that he died there by the ark of Elohim. It upset David that Yahweh had broken out against Uzzah, and that place has been called Peretz Uzzah. That means to be broken, okay? Ever since, breaking out of Uzzah ever since. I'm going to explain something to you. In the Torah portion, we found that Nadav and Abihu were killed by the Most High because they did something that wasn't according to the judgment of what they were supposed to do. They went outside. They wanted to create a new way of doing something that the Most High told them not to do. They went outside of the judgments that what YAH has prescribed, the manner prescribed in which something's supposed to be done. This in particular individual called Uzzah, his name means strength. That's what his name means. So he had what they would call the ability. He was selected, handpicked, listen to me, because of his strength. That's why he was picked. His brother was in front of the ark. He was picked on purpose too. Just like we see Mishael and El Safan were picked in order to pull the bodies up out of the sanctuary. This in particular person was handpicked in order to protect and make sure that the Ark of the Covenant didn't fall. The new carts were picked and chosen and selected. They weren't just, they were built on purpose for the Ark so they can do what they thought was the right thing. But they made an error. Okay. The error is found inside of this man. The error is found in David. The error is found in anyone, including us, who decides that what we're going to do is do something new outside of what Yahweh said, based upon our own strength. A person might have the ability to do something, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're the one who should be doing it. Uzzah is not from the tribe of the Kohanim, the tribe of Levi. His brother is not from that family. YAH struck him down and killed him the same way he did Abihu and Nadab, in a sense that the Most High killed him. But there's something different about the death of this man. This man, when it says the Most High broke out on him, Peretz doesn't only mean broken, it means to burst like a grape. He actually was in a place where the grapes were being raged. When the Most High killed him on the spot, when he went and reached his hand to help YAH, he burst open. He didn't just die. He burst open like a grape. He just popped open for reaching his hand out to stop the ark from falling. Our Elohim burst his body open. That's in the text. You see? So it's not, I'm just going to break out and, you're going to die. No. He burst him open. And this is the reason why David didn't want to bring, and he became very afraid of Yahweh because of what David saw. So when this happened, when the strength of this man was brought to nothing and just he burst open, all the music stopped. All the partying stopped. All the celebration stopped. All the great intention and inspiration stopped. Because what they did is they failed to recognize the set apartness, the kadosh of Yahweh. Yah is telling us a story through David to give us instruction to let us know that you can't play with me. You can't approach me when you're intoxicated. You can't talk to me any old type of way. You can't forget who I am. Because you could stand to burst open. The Most High is not playing. You see? So that place is called that. And so David was frightened of Yahweh. Wouldn't you be frightened after you saw a person burst open in that field? He asked, how can the ark of Yahweh come to me? So David would not bring the ark of Yahweh into the city of David. Rather, David took it over to the house of the servant of Adon the Gittite. And the ark of Yahweh stayed in that house of Oved Adon the Gittite for 3 months. And Yahweh blessed Oved Edom and all his household. And David, I don't have a slide, but David had recognized and heard, it was brought to his attention that Yah had blessed this house. Oved means a servant of Adon. He blessed him, blessed his family. He blessed his children. And within the 3-month period. And blessing for us is to be able to recognize. David wanted the blessing, but David had a fear. And I want to talk a little bit about the type of fear that we have and why it's important to fear Yahweh. But if you have the wrong type of fear, okay, listen to me carefully. David, after he had this time of, knowing I made an error, He wanted to do something different. Okay. So what he did to strengthen himself, he erected buildings, because that's what strengthening means. He fortified his buildings for himself in the city of David. He prepared a place, meaning he established a place for the ark of Elohim, which is the same word that we have that we used earlier about Kohen. These two letters right here, which is the palm and the seed. So what you would do with that was you would plant it. And once you plant it, it becomes firm, which then you would be established. That's why the YAH has given us a priesthood. But David had prepared this place. He established a place for the ark of Elohim after he learned how to fear the Most High. And he set up a tent for it. Then David said, no one but the Leviim should carry the ark of Yahweh, of ark of Elohim, because Yahweh chose them. See, once he understood what was established, he chose them to carry the ark of Yahweh and to serve him forever. So he had to go through seeing something very, drastic in order to recognize that when we're going to do something for the Most High, we have to do it the way that he says to do it. Okay. So he established this, and David called for Zadok and Evyatar, the Leviim, and Uriel, and Asaiah, and Yoel, and Shamaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadav. All these names have great significance. Now we don't see him with 30,000 men. Israel went with him, but now it's not his people. David was strengthened by what happened to him. Okay. So David called for Zadok, which is righteousness. He called for Evyatar, meaning my father is right. He called for the Leviim, Uriel. El is light. Yah makes. El is Elohim. Yah listened and heard. El is my Elohim. And Avinadab, my people are willing. Ami means my people, and Nadav means willing. So we can see, we can have generosity. We could be a willing people. We could be a people of light. We could be all these things. But we have to do what the Most High has asked us to do in the manner in which he has prescribed. And so he said to them, you are the clans of the leaders of the Leviim. Consecrate yourselves. That's a Hithpael. You can consecrate yourself. You can kadosh yourselves, both you and your kinsmen, your family, your relative, to bring the ark of Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, to the place I have prepared for it, the one that I've established, because you weren't there the first time the Yahweh our Elohim broke out. That's that parat against us. We didn't seek him out according to the mishpatim, according to the rule. That's the reason why Yah broke on them. And when he said he broke on us, he used Uzzah to teach everyone in Israel a lesson. He taught David a lesson, and he's teaching us a lesson. Don't try to do anything in your own strength. What we need to do is we need to darash. We need to seek out what Yahweh's counsel is according to his rule. If we're not following Yah's rule, are we really going to please Yah? Isn't that what Aharon had said to us? Isn't that what he invited us to and he introduced us to let us know, is it according to what he says? Are we emotionally sound enough to do what he asks us to do? Or have we sought out Yah's rulership? See, so we're playing like we're like we really get it. But the fact of the matter is that no, we really need to get it. It could be disastrous and it could be detrimental for us if you and I don't seek out Yah's rulings. And this isn't anything. What's Yah's rule on marriage? I want some husband to tell me right now, what is Yah's rule on marriage? Give me something. What is his ruling? What does he say about marriage? Anything?
That is supposed to be between a man and a woman.
Thank you. Very simple. Okay? That's what he says. When he talks about his rule that deals with business, there's certain rules that he has. When he talks about rules about eating, there's certain things that he's asking us to do. So everything, every part of our lives, we have to seek out the counsel of Yah. That way, that can strengthen us. Don't let this intimidate you. Don't let this slide scare you. Okay. Don't you let it scare you at all. Do not let this scare you. It's nothing but letters, a family of letters that are conveying a message that I want to share with you. Okay. The first line says, Min yitain de wahaya de lavam de ze de lahim de la lirat de oti de la lishmor de etakola de mitzvotai. Bakola hamamayim de la aman de yatab de lahim de la livne haim de la alam. You say, well, what did you just say? I had to put it here in order to let you know what the Most High is saying. Not in English. I have to do it in Hebrew. This one right here means who? Me. Who? This is a question. Okay. So in the Hebrew language, they don't put question marks. They use words and letters to convey a question. So the question is who? So let's write it out. Who is the first one. Okay. Second, Yatain. Who is it or he? That will give. Who is he that will give? Okay. Wa and Haya exist. Levavam. Got lav right here. Lav is heart. Vam here is plural. To exist, hearts. Their hearts. This heart. This type of heart. To them. In context, this is found in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 5, verse number 29. The children of Israel didn't want to hear what the Most High had said because they were afraid. Remember, I'm afraid. Let us go back to our tents. You go hear everything he has to say. And you come back and tell us what it is. So who is he that will give and exist hearts like this of them? Okay. To fear. That's right here. To fear. Oti, direct object marker. Eth, to me. Okay. And lishmor. And guard. The direct object marker pointing directly to what? All. Call all my mitzvot. Okay, my mitzvot. Call all the days. Lama'an, meaning for the purpose or the intent of that which is yatav, meaning that is good to them and their sons forever. Who is it that will give and exist this type of heart of them or to them to fear me and to guard all my commandments all days, all time, with the intent to do good to them and their sons forever? What's the Most High asking? He's asking, is there anybody who has the mind, because that's what your heart is, who would give their mind? Is there a heart that exists? Is there a mindset that exists to guard what I said? Is there a mind like this? I've given this text because the Most High is letting us know that when you say that you fear him, the Torah is there to teach us to fear the Most High. That's the word Torah in Hebrew. Lamadenu. Lamad means to teach, and nu means us. It's only through the commandments that a person will be able to fear the Most High. Fearing the Most High, this word right here, has to do with the Torah. It has to do with the pointing of the finger. Okay? It's really called YAH. And that's where you get a root for that comes out of the word Torah. And you got a teacher called a Mora or More, or a female teacher, a Morah. Torah, Mora. Yara, see? So he's teaching us, and we have to give everything to him. You see? Because the goal is for us to be taught. You see? And you're only going to learn through the commandments. You're only going to learn for the intent to bring good to you. Here's your word right here that you learned earlier, tov, right here. The mitzvot are the only thing that's going to bring you to, so you can be functional. So you can what? So you can surround the house. You can operate within YAH's house with a certain type of mindset, a certain type of emotion. So it'd be good for you and your children. It says sons, but this has to do with daughters as well. Your sons forever. So you need to give me something. And the question is who? Who's going to give to me this type of mind? That's the question. We've been talking about our minds for the last couple of Shabbats, and the Most High is letting us know that, listen, I want to strengthen you. And the only way that I can strengthen you is I have to go back to this idea of here. I said all, because that's what call means. All my mitzvot, all your days. So let me tell you about all again, because it's the root to our word that we had today called a call. See, there's call right there. That's the parent. And if I want to make it into a 3-letter root, I just put a child root in front of it. And there you go. That's one of my first child roots. Remember, it's the Aleph, the Hey, the Wah, and the Yod. Well, the Most High chose to put the Aleph in his family right here. And that's one right here is the eat. But when I take off the Aleph, what I have vessel. Because this is what this actual means. Call means vessel. It means all from a grammatical standpoint, but agriculturally, it has to do with the vessel. Okay. And the vessel is something that's whole, is something that's completed. Okay. So what the Most High is saying is listen, I want all of you. I want you to be completed. I want you to be whole, because once you're whole, then you will be strong. I need strong vessels. Okay. I need a strong vessel. Okay. I didn't put the slide up here, but this word right here, or this root, parent root, is the same parent root for your kidneys. Remember our word, kali yoth? All I got to do is put a yoth right here, and there you go. Kalia, that's a kidney. A call, that's to eat. So you have all these connections. I have to Caliph, it would be in here too. Okay. The color blue that's used. Okay. I have the word kala, which is the root for a bride. A bride is someone who makes a man whole. She's the one who makes someone complete. She's the vessel. You see? Your kidney has to do with your emotions. This is the reason why the Most High is asking for the kidneys of these animals. So he can find out whether or not you have some affection for him. Okay? So the idea behind call is to be completed or to be whole in order you to be strong. Once the vessel is complete, it's strong enough to do the work. Okay. So it's not only a vessel in terms of a pot, but it's vessels in other things as well, which we're going to talk about. Okay. So let's break the word down. So you see it's a cough and a lament. And now what we have here is the letter cough, which represents a palm of the hand. The palm of the hand is used for bending and subduing. Okay. Like if you want to bend your hand, you got to bend your hand in order to grab something. So when this man, right, Uzzah, which means strength, he went and he used his palm of his hand to what? To grab and to subdue the ark. The Most High burst him open in front of everybody because he grabbed upon the holiness of Yah as if he was subduing Yahweh. When you and I go outside, oh, you better hear what he's telling us today. When you and I go outside of the mitzvot and we create something new and improve with this best intention, with the grace of we get inspired, we're becoming like David and we're becoming like Uzzah. And we're trying to subdue Yah. We're trying to bend Yahweh. You're bending his rules. You're bending his regulations. We're bending his Torah in order so it can fit in our lives. We're trying to subdue his authority. We're trying to act like you and I are strong enough. When we do this, we weaken ourselves and you will be burst open. Yahweh will break out on you. You understand? So we have to be careful about trying to bend Yahweh to our way. Because that's what he tried to do. He tried to bend it and he tried to subdue the Most High. The next letter is the Lamed. Okay, Lamed. Oh. Come on, don't fail me. The Lamed. That's the name of the letter. It's a shepherd's staff. It's a yoke. That's what it can represent. The shepherd's staff is used for taming. To tame sheep, goat, oxen, okay, domesticated animals. Okay. For what? For use. I have to tame you first before I can use you. You have to tame someone or something before it can be used for service. Okay. So you're taming for use or service. The use is like an animal, it's a goat, it's a sheep, it's an oxen, it's a cow, it's a donkey. Okay. Or you talk about you can tame a garden. There's certain things that you can use to put in the garden and make sure that things don't go awry. If you wanted to tame a tree that wasn't straight, you would put a staff or a stick on the side and tie it to it. If you wanted to make sure that your tomatoes grow a certain way, you would get one of those holders where the tomatoes will wrap around that so you can control it. If you wanted to tame your animals, you would put them in a pen. So it's always about taming. So when the Most High is literally saying that all of my commandments, what he's saying is, I want to tame you. I have to get you ready. I have to strengthen you. If you can have strength like Uzzah has, but if you're not controlled, if you're not measured in your approach to me, you can end up getting killed. Just like Nadav and Abihu. If you're not measured in your discipline, if you're not taming your children, you're going to have some problems on your hands. If you're not taming, I know you don't like the term tame, but tame is it agriculturally. If you're not taming your workforce that works for you, you're going to have a lot of problems. If you don't tame your ox that the Most High says you need to tame it to make sure it doesn't hurt anybody, you don't tame it, you're going to pay for it, either through money or your own life. We have to be measured in our approach to the Most High. Okay. So in this idea, and you can see I have here the word lamad, and there's a lamed, and then nu means us. So what am I asking Yah to do? I'm asking him to put the staff on us. I'm asking Yah to teach us. That's what I'm asking Yah to do. Through what? Through the Torah, because that's where your fear is going to come from. If David understood, like, okay, we got to go back to what the kamishpat is, meaning according to the judgment, according to the manner. David, the king of Israel, the one of Yah's own heart, had to be corrected. He had to be disciplined. See, so he didn't have anyone else to tell him what it was, right? People didn't say anything. The priest didn't say anything. And David made a mistake, just like Aaron did, right? So, and his son. So as a result, listen to this. As a result of Aaron not teaching his sons or being firm with them, his sons died. As a result of David not being absolute firm about what Yah said, somebody died. And so the death of someone or some people is going to be the tool that Yah uses to teach. Yah uses death to teach. If we didn't have these stories, we wouldn't know what the Most High said. He had it written for us to be instructed, to let us know. I want you to make the connection. That's why the Haftarah is so important. So here is what David had asked. He asked the Most High, he says, teach me. I want to be Lamadanu, right? Teach Lamadani versus Lamadanu. Lamadanu is us, and Lamadani is this little N. If I put an N-I on it, that's me. Teach me. So that I can live. I want to live by your truth, by your emeth, by your words, by that which is firm, because that's what truth is. Truth is firm. It can't be bent. They could try to, but truth should never be bent. Make me single-hearted so that I can fear your name. That's the goal. If you fear Yah, you're going to go to the commandments before you make any decisions. I will thank you. I'll give you Torah, my master, my Elohim. Why? And of course, I'm emotional and I'm very sensitive. When I read this part right here, it blew me away. Because this word here is found right here. Where is it at? Here it is. That's called Yakade. Yakade. And Yakade, that looks like that's an ugly, come on, pen. Yakade. In that word is the word akkad. That's the root. Akkad means to be one. So listen what David said. He wanted Yah to teach him. Okay. And if you notice, he said here, there's two different things. He said, ho reini. There's that knee right there. This right here means cause. And this right here is the Torah. That's what he's really saying. Cause me to be directed, Yahweh. That's what teaching is. Yah's pointing you in a direction. Your words, I will walk. I want to walk. When he talks about living here, he's literally talking about walk, because halak means to walk. Alak. And you can see there's a lamed in there, right here, and there's a cough. It's just a reverse of a cough and lamed. This right here means all and tame and so forth and so on, right? Like we just learned. The lock right here, the lamed and the cough, just reverse the letters, is still the same letters, which is the shepherd's staff in the palm of the hand. Once a person is tamed, they're ready to go. They're ready. Like, remember, we talked about 7 days, they were doing their installation, and then on the 8th day, they're ready. So in this case, the idea of being able to walk for Yah, okay, the halak, is to walk for Yah. It literally means to live for Yah. I want to live for you, but I got to go through the process of being tamed first. So what we want to do is we want to come out of the pen first. Then when we come out of the pen, that's when we want Yah to deal with us. And that's not how it's going to happen. Let me slow it down and tell all of us again. This is not just only for you, it's for me. So let me slow it down. David understood something, okay, based on the experience that he's had in his life. He's saying, I want to live, meaning right here, I want to walk, okay? I want to walk according to your words. I want to live according to your words. The only way I can live, meaning the only way that I can halak, in Hebrew, it'd be halak. The only way that I can walk and live is by your words, by your doreka, okay, and by your truth, the truth of your words. What we're trying to do is we don't want the call. We don't want to be tamed. What we want to be released out of the stall first. Then when we get in the open, then we want to ask Yah to come and help us. Because life is bad for us, because things ain't working out and you're wild and you're making all kind of errors and all these types of things. When you have a lot of errors in your life, you made mistakes and you've learned from them, you slow down in your life and you say, you know what, I made some bad decisions. And now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be hasty to go and do anything. Now I'm actually going to take my time. Okay. So being patient and taking our time is a big part of learning. That's a big part of it. A big part of it, to be on Yah's direction and to be on his way, is to say that if I'm going to live the way that you want me to, I need to let you do the work that you want to do for me. Because if I don't go through the process of the call, if I don't go through the taming process, okay, then I'm not going to be able to lock. I'm not going to be able to walk. I'm not going to be able to live properly. So we have to slow down. Okay. And he says yakad or yaked. Yaked means I want to be unified. I want my heart, my libi. Remember, we've been talking about our mind. I want my mind to be unified with you. Once I'm unified with you, then I would be able to understand the fear of your name. Then I would be able to live the way that you want me to live. Okay, so we have to go through a taming process. And so the good news is this. And by the way, I highlighted these words not just because they were very important to me, but also too, these are what they would call imperatives. And you and I know that an imperative is a command. It's a request. So David is asking, he made a request to the Most High. He's not commanding him. He actually made a request to Yah. And this is what we can do too. You can make a request to Yah to teach you, to point you through the Torah, so you won't make the mistake. So you could be single-hearted, right? You want to know that, so you can walk on Yah's way, and therefore, so you can ultimately live to fear his name, to give you that type of mind, to be unified with Yah. So like we said earlier, to walk with him and to be unified, you can be unified with Yah through your food. When he says, I'm called a Kodosh, you be called a Shim. That's the unification there, right? So Moshe also taught us something too. And I think this is my last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Moshe taught us something through the Psalms, chapter number 90. He said this: all our days ebb away under your wrath. Our years die away like a sigh. The span of our life is 70 years, or if we are strong, 80. That word 80 right there has the same root called Shemon. Remember, ours is called Shemini. Well, here it's called Shemonim. All it is a plural of 8. So Shemini is 8 and Shemonim is 80. So they have the same root, which is Shin, SH, Mem, right here, Noon, right here, and then Im, right there. But it still has Shemini in it. Because Shemini is a Shin, a Mem, a Yod, and a Noon, and another Yod. Okay? So what I found and how the Most High brought this to me, I didn't even know this when I was putting it together, even last night, is that 80 is strength. So the root of 80 is 8, which is Shemini. Okay. The root of 8 is shame. Shame is name. Name is character. So what is Yah trying to tell us? I'm trying to go through a process with you. So when I bring you to your new beginning, you'll have the character that I'm looking for and a character of strength. Okay. You have strength in your character. You have a strong character. Your character won't be like Uzzah. He might have the best intentions. He might be inspired. He might have been strong enough, but that's not what I'm looking for, because you're not going to subdue me. You're not going to put the call on me. I'm going to put the call on you, because I want to tame you and your character. I want to teach you to fear me. See? So the idea of strength is found in 8. Because now you're strong enough to be circumcised. The animal is strong enough to be brought away from its mother, because for the first 7 days is a very sensitive time and it's very delicate. The newborn is getting to bond with its mother, and it has enough nutritional value after 7 days. You see? After the child is born, he goes to the first 7 days are critical to its survival. If you make it on the 8th day, you're ready. You're ready. Remember? The Most High is trying to prepare us to be ready. He's trying to give us a ready character, to know that he's our strength. And so Moshe is teaching us, Madonu, okay, that yet at best, what? Your life is nothing but toil. Your life and the years of your life is nothing but work and sorrow. Toil is what you do with your hands. It's the work that you do. The sorrow because you're not really truly benefiting from it. And it's going to be over in a moment. In the same text, it talks about that a day is like 1,000 years, which is incorrect. He didn't say a day. He said a night's watch. That's not a full day. The expression of a night's watch, or just passing through the daytime, okay, a watch is nothing. That's the point. So 1,000 years is nothing to Yah. That's what he's saying, is it goes by so fast that it's nothing, because Yah's in eternity. But you and I, our years that we're in, they mean something to us. 70 years is a good time. 80, if you're strong, see? And why would you live to be 80? I think we would live to be 80 because what we did was we lived according to what the Most High said. Not that you can't extend 80, because you can. But the only way you can live that is if you made some good decisions. You decided not to destroy your liver. You decided to be careful about what you ate in terms of how much saturated fat. You were very careful about how much sodium that you're taking in to your body, which hardens your blood vessels. You're very careful about what kind of food you eat. You don't eat fast food. Why? Because it's processed. It's not good for you. You eat a lot of grains. You eat a lot of, vegetables. You got a lot of fiber in your diet. You got the right minerals, the right vitamins. See? You're not eating that which is unclean and it has bacteria that can destroy your organs. This is not just spiritual. There's spiritual piece of it, but there's also too the part that's lived out in the body, you see? And so he's letting us know that our time is nothing to Yah. It's like a moment, and then we're gone. But the question is, again, Me. Who? Who would grasp? That word grasp means who has the strength and the power? Like Uzzah, right? No, not that strength. Who has the mental fortitude? Like David to recognize the problem. Who has the mental fortitude like Moshe? The reason why he found that something wasn't done is because he went and he examined to make sure it was done. That's when he found that it wasn't done and he brought it to their attention. Who has the mental fortitude to make corrections in their household? Who's willing to do this? The question is always going to be who. Who would grab and grasp the power of your anger? Who would understand this? And the wrath to the degree that the fear, the YAH, the Yah that's due to him, the reverence, the attention is, should inspire someone. You shouldn't be inspired to go outside and create something new. You should be inspired to fear Yah. As he asked, who would give their heart to me? Who would give their mind to me? Who would exist to have this type of fear that I'm looking for? Who? So Moshe says this. So teach, meaning hold on, cause us to know. Cause us to know, not teach me. It ain't just teach. That word right there is hoda. Hoda means has the hey, which is the ho, and the yada, which is to know. He doesn't tell me to just teach me. That's English. He's saying, cause me to know my days, how to count them, my portion, what has been given to me. I need to know. And the only way you do that is through teaching. So, but to know it. You want to know. You can't teach anybody anything if you don't know. So let me know how to count. I got to do some math here. I got to know. If you are in your 50s and 60s and 70s or 30s or 40s, whatever you're at in your life, understand something. Some of us don't even make it to 70. My mom didn't. Both my grandparents died. One is 50, one is 51. I'll outlive my grandparents, you see, by their years. So what? So that we can become wise. You can only become wise, and this is the lamadenu, the teaching that we're getting from Moshe. You see? We need to understand that the Most High's intention is to get us to fear him. I didn't have a slide in here, but he says this. Moshe said, why are you guys afraid? He said he's come in order to make you afraid so you won't sin against him. Yah's interested in fear. Okay, and the only way a person can do that is if they are strong enough. That's the only way you can do it. Okay, is if you're strong enough. All praises be given to our Elohim Yahweh for his kindness and for his mercy and for his love has been shown to us and has been given to us as a people. I'm hopeful and I'm grateful that we've learned something today. And it's always going to be something with the Most High. It's always going to be that. This is what we're going to do. This is who we are, everyone. Okay? So there's nothing else for us to look at except for the Torah. Plain and simple. Now you know how we do it. For those of you who would like to participate today, you go ahead and join the party. And let's see if our link, can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I want to see. Oh, there he is. This is for your learning. Oh, he's coming back to being the moose again. Who's going to challenge Lucas today? Somebody tell me. I'm gonna give you guys some more time. Those of you who are watching live by stream, you could go ahead and participate as well. You can go to www.kahoot.it. And you can put in this code 2766365. And that's going to allow you to have access, and you can use your phone, your mobile device, or you can use your laptop. Excuse me, not your laptop, but your tablet. You can't use your laptop. You can only read the questions on the screen that we have here. So we got Kel is in here. We got Kawika. Oh boy, we got Mao. Mao's back again. He's the tiger. Oh boy, we got Dr. YAH joining back. And I know a Koti Pam is going to get into this. I know it's going to be there. Kent, I want to see you in here. So everyone, just go to www.kahoot.it and then just push on that first little thing that you see there. It's going to say go there, and go there, and it's going to pull it up. There he is. Some of y'all's in there. She's in the house. Oh my goodness, praise y'all. Some of y'all's in the house. Dr. Uran, what a look, what a look, what a look. Oh, somebody wanted to wear a beard. Malachi took off his hat. He said, I want to join Dr. Uran. Two of the elders. I don't see anybody else. Oh, I see Ken, and Ken is here. Ken is out. She's back in the car. Oh, we got a Koti Pam rolling in. You know, you guys, we can take up to 50 players. We're not limited to 10 anymore. There's Kent. Kent's in the house. Oh, Kent changed it. He got a little binky in his mouth as a bear. Let's see it. He put the glasses on. Oh no, look at that. A Koti Pam, what's up with that look? I thought you were going to be the eagle again. You're always known as the eagle.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do this correctly since this is the first time I'm playing, but I'll try.
Okay, so what it is, Samia, is that you're going to read the question on my screen. Okay, then it's going to give you some choices that you can make, and it's going to be on your phone. So you're going to press the button to answer on your phone. So it can either be, you know, a true or false question. It can either be, you know, A, B, or C, any of those types of things. So the one who does it the fastest is the one, and with the correct answer is the one who's going to get the most points. So after every question, they give you, you know, an opportunity like, what did you do? Okay, and how fast you were able to do it. So the faster you do it, and it's correct, you're going to get the most points. And so you're going to see people get, you know, a lot of points. You're going to see people get a few points. You're going to see a lot of it. Got Claudia. We got Chapman in here. That's right, Anthony Offensive. Let's get in this. Let's find out. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. And listen, this is designed for all of us to have fun. Okay. At the end of every Torah portion, we want to test our learning. We want to see if things are sticking with us. Okay. So with that being said, I'd like to, Ripcar, are you going to be on here? Are you going to give your commentary?
I'll give my commentary. It's not really fair if I play, though.
No, I don't want you to play. I want us to do our commentary that we use.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's see that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone. Shamini.
Mine still just says it's still loading. Oh, shoot.
What does Shamini mean in English?
What happened?
Press it on your phone.
So you can pick red.
You still got time. Push it on your phone. You only have a certain amount of time. Certain these questions may have 10, they might have 20, they might have 30 seconds. All right.
Oh my goodness. Let's see who. Dr. You're red.
Oh, there you go.
He breaks out of the ranks with a strong 935.
Yeah, but you know, Kavika is right behind him. Sister Pam is definitely there. Lucas is one of our top contenders. But Samia, she's a new player to the game. She looks like she's She's moving. Maybe she's playing possum. Who knows?
He might be a contender.
It's possible. What makes a land animal clean to eat? You know, I didn't see Malachi on that. I was kind of a
Yeah, I think he's trailing.
little disappointing.
Maybe he'll come out. He'll come back from the rear.
Yeah, you know who I want to see? I want to see Kale. I want to see Kale. He's always a great, he's very strong on some stuff. Uh-oh. You know what
Uh-oh.
happened last week. This is interesting right here.
We have brother
Oh my
Yared,
goodness.
Aki Yared leading the pack.
I think he was
Samia is still, and Kavika is still in the running, and Lucas is close on Aki Yared's tail.
yeah. These are some of our top contenders, very strong, but I'm really surprised to see how fast Samia is still in the game. I mean, this is her first time playing, but I want to see what's going to happen.
How did they lose their lives? This is a very interesting question. When I read this, I was really shocked at how fast these people burned up from within.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, Kelly's moved up.
And notice the flame behind Aki Yared's name. It's
Dr.
appropriate for the
Yared.
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, you know what I think it is, to be honest with you? I think it's that beard. It's a whole nother look for him.
The white beard. Malachi is not
indicative
on the
of-
running. I'd like to see
I
what
don't
he's at.
understand. I just don't get it. I don't even see Ken. What's going on? Let's see.
The Estep clan is slagging.
Oh,
Nice picture.
yeah, we
Soda.
got it. Soda. Yeah. Hey, you know what? We can see how someone is doing or how fast they're responding to answers. I don't know. That one right there just kind of, uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, something's going on.
Lucas is taking the lead.
Oh my goodness. Listen,
Ken,
there
is
are
it-
no, wait a minute. Do you see there's no femininity here.
Oh, yes, there is.
And we know
Ken's
that-
there.
No.
Ken,
Oh, wait a minute. Ken is there.
Marcella, is
Okay, I
that
thought
you?
Ken. Oh, that is
No.
Ken.
Yeah, that's Ken.
He is there. There's
We have
feminine.
Ken and Ken. Yes,
We got
she's
some-
in the running.
Yeah, Kokma, Mitzvah, Torah, Nefeshka, all the femininity is right there. Praise Yah. So we got some feminine, we got somebody hanging in there. We got Lucas is just taking the lead from Dr. Yared, and Kel's coming up closely behind him. And Kent, welcome to the board. Let's go. Let's see what happens here. Oh,
We have some Haftorah readers now. You
Yeah,
know,
we do.
the Haftorah is a very important part of our Torah portion. We have to make sure that we don't neglect that part because it gives us a different perspective on the Torah portion that we've been given.
absolutely. You're absolutely 100% correct about that. Guess what? I mean, a good part of our teaching today was out of the Haftorah. I've
Hallelujah.
never been able to find and discover about that idea of, staying within the guidelines of the Mishpat Tim, and to make the association between the death of Uzzah, the strength, and the death of Abihu and Nadav, Aharon's sons.
Hallelujah.
Make those connections and get more out of the Torah when you read the Haftorah. And we can see that's reflected in this teaching. Praise Yah. Nice picture, Pa. Oh boy, this is interesting.
Toda, I like the pictures. I take time in picking the pictures. I think it's interesting.
Oh my goodness, look who's coming up.
No, we got Mao in the race now.
Malachi
Ken?
is fifth place.
Mhm. And Kel.
Kel's still trying to hold on, but it looks like Kenny Bear has taken over. She's right there. I mean, if she could just be a little faster, more responsive, she can probably get Lucas, as we're seeing here. What do you think about that last question?
It was in depth. We're gonna go over the questions at the end, but it was really deep.
Really good, yeah. Oh, we're in number 7, so we're in Shavi'i.
Which one is not a clean animal? Land animal.
This is a hard one.
Interesting fact, though, Ed. Did you know a giraffe is called a leopard camel?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. A leopard camel? I can see that. Oh,
Yes.
because of its spots.
Yeah.
Oh, it does look like a leopard. Oh,
Yeah.
a leopard camel.
Yes, it is.
A great fact that you have right there. All
Right.
right, let's see what happened. Oh, no change except for, wait a minute, Malachi has dropped off. Oh, we have Kavika coming in. Dr. Your Red is back in the game. It was strong. He's just right behind McKenna. Lucas is still leading. Kel, gotta pick it up. Here we go.
This was very interesting. We have different type of offerings for different days, but this one was very specific. Let's see who comes out in the lead here.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what happened in Arizona. Yeah. Well, as you can see, there was a variety of answers that people have made, Let's see what it is. Oh, look at that. Look at
Mouse.
that. This
Kavika's still in there.
Hey,
Yeah.
she's still there. Ken Bear is right there. She's just
Kavika's
right
hanging in
behind
there.
Lucas. Yeah. I mean, right here.
Malachi's in there.
We have 4 questions that are left. I think 3 or 4. And so we have opportunity here, but I'm really pleased to see this presence of Mal and Ken. And I still see our leaders, but I'm really surprised. But there's some players here. I thought they were strong, but maybe it's not a good day for them today. Lucas just seems he's just trying to dominate. Let's see who can take him off of his throne today. Woo, we got a variety of answers right there. That was an interesting one. Are you mad at me for that one? Wow. What do you think about that? We'll talk about that.
Oh, Kavika is taking a strong lead, and so is Ken.
Wow, that was something.
Kenny Bear. Wow,
See
it was
that?
a strong move of Kavika. Akoti. Hallelujah.
Super strong. Look at that. Tables have turned. Oh my goodness, this is exciting. We're in 10 of 12. Let's go.
True or false? Sharks and catfish have fins. They must be okay to eat.
Well, that was quick. Everybody's moving fast on that one, right?
Everybody knows catfish is not.
Oh, this is tough.
Oh,
Lucas is
there.
trying to get back in there.
Fight, Lucas, fight.
Dr. Red, get it, Dr. Red. You can do it. Come on, let's go. 11. Where is Ken? Kent. Kale, where are you?
Which one is clean to eat? Cricket, mice, grasshoppers, ladybugs, or squirrels?
What is
In
that?
the South,
Ain't that ladybug or whatever it is?
yeah, in the South, they do hunt squirrels, big squirrels. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Ken Bear.
This is a tough one, you guys. This is really tough. Look how close those scores are. They're right behind Ken. Ken is just trying to hold on.
Last one.
That's when I see it.
This one is tricky. We'll see who comes up on top on this one.
Let's see.
Third place is
Dr. Ured,
Dr.
he's in there.
Ured. Second place.
Malachi in second place. Shit, oh my goodness. Oh,
Oh,
congratulations,
wow.
Kamika. Lucas, yes, runner up.
Baby Bear, Kenny Bear won. Praise Yah, hallelujah. All right, let's go through those
Wow.
questions. Let's go through the questions.
Oh, wow. Let's see. How do you do this? Let's see. Okay. So you want to go to view summary? Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right.
All right.
So some of these questions were, this one was the most difficult question that we had was, which one is not a clean animal? Can you show the answers, please, David?
Absolutely. Let's see here.
Good. Everyone picked camel. 8 people picked a giraffe. Giraffe is a clean animal. Giraffe is a clean animal. Please chime in if you have any questions about that. A giraffe is a clean animal. A camel is not.
So tell
Which
us.
one is?
I've never heard anybody eating a giraffe.
Yeah. Well, we don't really eat them here in the States, but I don't know if they eat them, but they are a clean animal.
In Africa.
Yeah, they fall under the category of clean.
But we know that the Muslims, they eat camel.
Yes. And how can we
They-
how can we define the difference between clean and unclean with the camel? Can we look at its hoofs? Can you pull that up, David? Or maybe you can Google what is the meaning of a clean? Why is a giraffe clean?
No, it's the reason why they do have a split hoof.
Mm-hmm.
They
And
have
they chew the cut.
yeah, and they chew the cud. That's the Torah's
Yeah.
guidelines for that.
I believe a camel does not have a split hoof, but they're very close.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Those are some good things. So everyone did a wonderful job on that. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Let's go over here.